BWOne here at BWOne.com. I'm going to give you my review of the Samsung Conquer 4G for Sprint. The Conquer 4G is sort of a mid-range phone for the budget-conscious consumer in mind. We'll start off with another hardware tour. I have a 3.5-inch screen. It should be HVGA. Right above that is a 1.3 megapixel camera. Right next to the earpiece and LED indicators. Right below that is your physical buttons here for menu, home, back, and search. On the side you have the volume button. On this side you have the camera button. On the bottom you have a micro USB port. Here on the top you do have the 3.5mm headphone jack and power button. On the back you have a 3.2 megapixel camera with flash. The pictures are actually pretty decent for being 3.2 megapixels. It'd be pretty good as long as it's in good lighting. It'd be pretty good for uploading to Twitter, the occasional Facebook upload, and sending in MMS messages and stuff like that. But don't plan on it replacing a digital camera anytime soon. And indoor shots aren't that good as well too. You can check out all of our test shots. The link is in the description with our full review, and the test shots are there. And you have a speakerphone port right here on the side, and you have this nice little sort of plastic finish that's kind of rigid. It gives you sort of a higher quality feel to it. Take off the battery door. You have a 1500 milliamp hour battery. Right here on the side we have a micro SD card slot, and you have 2 gigabytes pre-installed. There is 1 gigabyte of internal memory installed as well with it, along with a 1 gigahertz processor. You do have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and Sprint 4G WiMax data speeds. So you can see there with the specs, it's sort of a mid-range phone, but with some pretty powerful standard specs that you would expect. Maybe from a year ago it would be a premium phone, but now it's coming in sort of the mid-range here. Power on the phone here. Turn it on there. And we're pretty much running, as far as Android, running the latest version of Android. It was Android 2.3 Gingerbread, but it's stock for the most part with the Sprint IDs added on with it. So you get the stock experience really with it, with not really too much in terms of preloaded software on it here. As you can see, I have a few of Sprint's apps, and some of that stuff is uninstallable. You do get a file manager as well too, which is always useful to have since Android doesn't come with one built in. But the ID packs are actually a lot better than they used to be. Beforehand, on the Transform from last year, you actually had to choose one before you could log into the phone. Now you can have just a blank one, or you can choose different ones here. You can add them as you want. You can choose the Sprint one if you want to. And it switches over to the Sprint version here, so you can see it adds different widgets, different icons on the desktop and such. And you can go green if we want to. So they have a green theme there for you environmentally conscious fans out there. And then you can also go back to the IDs here. You can also get new ones. Brings you to the familiar sort of ID pack menu. It looks a lot like the older version of the Android market. So that's pretty much it in terms of sort of special software inside of here. Everything is for the most part stock, and you can pretty much run stock on it. You do have swipe available here, and you do have a standard keyboard, so swipe away, and I don't even know what I typed there. And if you want to change the keyboard input method, go back and get the standard Android keyboard that comes in Gingerbread. Okay, we took a quick look here at the browser. It does have Sprint 4G WiMax data speeds, as I said before. It does work well when I'm outside, indoors in this building that I'm in. For some reason, the 4G WiMax doesn't come in well at all. We'll actually show you how the browser works. Here's the stock Android browser, and we'll try to go to ESPN.com. And let's see if it loads it. Probably load the mobile page first, and then we'll scroll down to the bottom here, and we'll have it load up the full site. It does have support for Flash and stuff as well too. Have it load up here. There we go. And you can check out the responsiveness. Not the smoothest experience out there, and if the 3.5-inch screen, it's kind of smallish compared to what you've been used to with the 4 inches or bigger screens that you're seeing nowadays, all the way up to pretty much 4.5 inches. But you can see sort of the responsiveness, pretty much a standard experience that you would normally get on an Android browser, pretty much with your mid-range phones here. Alright, so that is the Samsung Conquer 4G in terms of software. Battery life is actually pretty decent on the phone. I would say for pretty much light use, you can probably get about a couple of days out of it. To heavy usage, you're probably going to be looking to charge throughout the day. And with moderate usage, you probably can work on a full day's charge. For the consumer that's probably aiming for this type of phone, it's probably a person that is probably in the middle of the road. They just want some email, they'll do a few apps and they'll browse a little bit. You could probably stretch it out to about a day and a half to 2 days on one charge with that type of user. But if you really do get heavy, you're probably going to be charging at least one more time throughout the day to keep the phone going. Call quality is also good on it as well too. People could hear me well. I didn't experience any drop calls. I could hear other people well. Call quality is very good on this phone. That is the Samsung Conquer 4G. It's a good mid-range phone. It reminds me a lot of the LG Optimus T. It's probably where this is sort of aiming towards, is sort of that type of phone, since LG did a very good job with the Optimus One line of phones, and it's probably where this is aiming for. And it's going to be a pretty good mid-range phone on Sprint. Definitely, I believe it's $99 currently right now, but it probably at some point you're able to get this free on contract, and it's definitely going to be good for that type of value. So if you're the type of person that isn't really into the high-end Android phones, but you want a smartphone, check your email, send a few text messages, take a couple of pictures, but it doesn't, you're not looking for the super high-end or anything like that, and have some good phone, have good phone call quality and stuff like that. The Samsung Conquer 4G is definitely the phone to get, and the biggest plus about that is that you do get 4G with it in a mid-range device. So this is BWOne here from BWOne.com, reminding you, subscribe to our YouTube page, follow us on Twitter, become a fan of our Facebook fan page. Also check out our full written review. The link to that and all our social media is in the description. And always remember to live your tech world in high definition.